My brother canceled my birthday party because he asked my parents to go fishing himself that weekend, but when they came back, they were probably crying because of something someone said to me. 2 weeks ago, I was about to have my birthday. Unfortunately, my horrible younger brother decided he wanted to go away for the weekend without me, and the party ended up being cancelled. My 15-year-old brother is my father's favorite, and whatever he says in this house is what happens. At least there was some balance while my mother was alive. But she passed away from lung cancer a couple of years ago. Since then, life has been terrible for me because my dad only seems to care about my brother and thinks that because I'm older, I can handle everything on my own. Even on my birthday, I had planned to go out at night with my friends, and obviously, my dad was going to fund all our plans. But just a day before my birthday, my brother threw a tantrum and told my dad that he wanted to go away for the weekend because he was rejected from the football team and desperately needed something to distract him. If you ask me, it wasn't surprising that he wasn't selected for the team. Not only is he incredibly spoiled and annoying, but he's also not a good player and lacks team spirit. That much is obvious. So it shouldn't have been surprising that they didn't choose him. But still, he had a major meltdown over it, and my dad had to give in. I was in shock because all of this was happening right in front of my eyes, and I decided to stand up for myself. I told my dad that I wasn't going to stay home while they went away for the weekend, especially not on my birthday, of all days. Usually, whenever my brother decides he needs some time away from everything, he and my dad go on a getaway together, and I'm left at home. They both really like fishing, so they go on fishing trips, and my dad has a friend who owns a cabin in the woods, so it's pretty easy for them to just leave. I'm not really a fan of adventures, and I'm definitely not a fan of the woods, so I'm nothing like my brother and dad. The first few times this happened, I offered to stay home. After that, whenever they needed to leave, they didn't even ask if I had plans of my own, and I was left dealing with their absence. This has been going on since my mom passed away. They never used to do this while she was alive. I don't exactly have a problem with staying home alone, but the problem is that I'm not allowed to have anyone over because my dad thinks that if I throw a party or something like that, I'll end up trashing the house. He's pretty strict about those kinds of things. Once, I made the mistake of inviting a couple of friends over, and we were very careful to keep the house clean. However, my dad decided to check the security cameras and found out. I got the lecture of my life the next day, and he told me that he didn't want me inviting my friends over when the house was empty because he didn't trust us since we were young teenagers, and that never leads to anything good. So I couldn't invite friends over, and I couldn't leave the house on my own because my dad thinks that's dangerous. So I just stay home when they're not around. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen on my birthday because that would mean I couldn't have my friends over, and I wouldn't be able to go out with them. It was my 18th birthday, for crying out loud. It was an important day for me, and I wanted it to go my way, at least once. But my brother couldn't even let me have that. My dad even offered to take me with them and hire someone to take care of the house for the weekend, but my brother insisted that he wanted to go without me. He said that since I had never been to the cabin, I wouldn't know anything, so it would be another task to introduce me to everything. He was sure I wouldn't even enjoy it. Besides, if I were there, he wouldn't be able to distract himself from what was going on at school since everyone would be congratulating me on my birthday, including some of the boys from the football team because I'm friends with them. So my dad even withdrew the offer to take me, and I stayed home. This kind of thing has been happening since my mom passed away. It has always been very obvious to me that my dad has a favorite, and it's not me. I never had a problem with that, but that day, I just lost my patience. I started yelling at my dad, and we had a big fight because of the way he was acting and how he had been treating me since my mom passed away. He never praised me, even when I achieved something big, like winning competitions or doing well in school. But my brother received praise for even the smallest things. He also behaved very differently with us. He was quite distant with me, and with my brother, he was a different person. He actually acted like a father to him. I had always tolerated it because I knew my brother was very much like him, so it was easier for him to connect with my brother. But that was no excuse for treating me the way he did. So I stood my ground and said that if he left me home alone on my birthday and didn't let me invite my friends or even go out with them, then I would do whatever I wanted, and they wouldn't be able to stop me. But my dad threatened me and said that if I did any of those things, he would cut off my college funds, and I would be left with nothing. I'm supposed to start college in a couple of months, so I couldn't risk that because I don't have any money of my own. So, unfortunately, I had to let them leave on the morning of my birthday, and I had to cancel all my plans. You can click on share and more to see if there is a part 2.